Hey there, good evening. Welcome to Prog Monster. My name is Murph, and I am the host of this show, a show dedicated to progressive rock, hard rock, heavy metal, and other forms of rock music. Okay, it's Wednesday Night Favorites. I have to admit, this was one of the toughest videos I've ever had to make. It's really tough doing these. It's a three-parter. So let's first explain what this is. It's a three-part series. First part will be my favorite prog shorts. My favorite prog song shorts. I got the idea from Genesis when they did their shorts and their longs. So anyways, basically I had to make a determination what was short and what was long, and there was kind of a iffy dividing line, but I picked 6 minutes because that's about as much as people who like shorter songs will tolerate. It might go to 5 or 6 minutes. After that, it's getting into prog territory, serious time. And so I've done a three-part series. I'm doing a three-part series here. The first part will be the shorts. Second part will be the longs. And then, just to make it a third part, I decided on adding what I call epics. So the shorts will be under 6 minutes. The longs will be between 6 minutes and about 14 minutes. And then the epics will be everything above that. So the each of these three had its difficulties. Okay, different difficulties. The epics was trying to find 25 songs that I've listened to enough to put in my top 25 that were that long or longer. The middle one is going to be the most difficult because I've discovered that most of the prog songs that I like fall in that range. And there's like a horde of songs that could go in the top 25. It's going to be real difficult to break them down. And the other one, I'm just going to put something here to level this a bit. It's a little bit off, I noticed. That's a bit better. This one, part A, the shorts, was extremely difficult as well because there's a lot of songs that I had originally thought would fit into this category but were just a little bit too long, so I had to take them out and then reorganize, and then I still had about 75 songs, and I cut back until I had about 40 or 50, and then I started arranging them in the order that I want them in. You know, the last song on the list got in, but it just beat out like two other songs. I almost put one of the other ones in there, but I had decided that I had best give this song in. It's just too good of a song to leave out. So, anyways, so how we're going to do it is the way we always do it. From the least, from 25 to number 1, or from least to best. And by no means are there any bad songs on this list. Every one of these songs I love. There isn't one of them that I don't. So there's not a lot of distance between, I'm going to say, about number 6 through 25. Any of those songs could switch around. And so I basically based it on longevity, how long have I loved this song, to how impactful it was, to basically it just came down to how I feel about it right now, you know. And I don't know how else to put it. Like some of these songs, you know, if I'd done this list when they were popular with me, they would have soared to the top. But because, you know, see how much longevity they have. So basically, 25 to 1, top 1, and then I put some honorable mentions in at the bottom. Looks like I got about 10 honorable mentions. I mean, I could have put more easily. There's a lot more songs that could have gone on this list. Okay, and the other qualification is that what makes a prog song, you know. And I've discovered by doing this that definition sometimes, I got to do one thing, sorry. The glare is getting on me. So I'm just going to move these and put Darth up here. He blocks the sun. There you go. That's much better. Okay, so anyways, I forgot where I was at now. Okay, yeah, so anyways, what makes a prog song? Well, that's, I think, individual. Some people might say this is a prog song, but to me, it may not be quite a prog song. There was a couple of songs that I originally had put down and were going to put on this list, but decided they belonged in a different category. And one of them was The Flight of Icarus by Iron Maiden. To me, that's more of a heavy metal song, even though it does have some progressive elements to it. I just decided at the last minute not to include it in this. It'll go in my heavy metal one if I do one of them. So anyways, so that's my qualification. So in order for the song to get on this list, it had to be under 6 minutes in length, had to be a progressive song by the standard that I have, and of course I had to like it, of course, more, and it had to have some longevity with me, or at very least had to be very strong. So there was a few songs that I just haven't listened to enough for them to get on the list. Like, I like them a lot, they just haven't got enough longevity. And so anyways, we're going to start so I can get to this video. It's supposed to be released at 8 o'clock, now 8:40, so we're going to try and get it out by 9 if we can. Okay, so number 25 comes from Jethro Tull, one of my favorite bands, and it's Hunting Girl. Now this song just beat out a couple of others, and I just agonized about this for a good 5 minutes, over which I actually had originally put one of the other songs in there ahead of it, and then said to myself, nah, it's got to go on the list. It has to be on this list. To me, it's the Jethro Tull song that kind of put them on the map for me in a major way. This is the song that put them in my group of 7. They were already battling to get up there, and then this song sent them over top. That whole album, but this song was the leader of that album. So, Hunting Girl from Jethro Tull. Number 24. I had to include this song too because I don't have anything else from this group that I really love a lot. But I've always liked this song since I was about 8 or 9. And because it's a bit of a different, weird feel. It's almost psychedelic. It probably doesn't really belong on here, but I put it on here because it was the beginning of progression for this particular band, which had been a real poppy band before that. And for me, this well, it didn't actually begin it, but to me, it's the poster child of this group for psychedelia and progressive rock. And I'm talking about the Beatles. And I Am a Walrus. I love this tune. I've always loved this tune. It's always been my favorite Beatles song, and I had to give it some attention here, so it's coming in at number 24. Number 23 comes from, it comes off a solo album by a member of a favorite band of mine. He has quite a few solo albums, but this one I think is his best. And this song, I think, is his best song. And I'm going with Olympia from John Anderson off of the Animation album. Number 22. This group has a fair number of progressive songs, but most of them are over the time limit. So this was the only one that I really liked a lot that I thought was under the time limit and had to be on this, and that's White Man from Queen off of their Day at the Races album. Number 21 comes from my second favorite band, and it's actually the only song on this charts from them, which people will say, that's kind of strange. How could they be your second favorite band if their best song is only 21? Again, they have a lot of mid-range long songs and epics that I love a lot, and that's what put them on there. This is just one of the few short ones that I really like by them, and it's Long Distance Runaround. Great song. Number 20, a song that I bought this album 2 years ago, and it was in my charts. Well, it wasn't in my charts. It was in my playlist for about almost 2 years, this album, and this song was the last of the songs that kind of have an impact on me, but I kind of like it quite a bit. It's called Kiss the Frog by Genesis. Not Genesis, Peter Gabriel. Close enough, but not the cigar. So Peter Gabriel gets number 20 here with Kiss the Frog. Number 19 is a Genesis. That's where I got it. Genesis was written, but it was above the song, so I thought it was referring to the song. Deep in the Mother Lode from And Then There Were Three. One of the last of their progressive albums, but I really like this song quite a bit. Easily my favorite on that album. And as a short, it fits in very nicely here at number 19. Number 18 is a song that was, for the long time, my favorite on this album. But for the shorts, it's still my favorite on the album, and it's Free Will from Rush at number 18. Number 17, another Jethro Tull song from the Aqualung album. I don't know that this song is such a progressive song, but it does have progressive elements to it, so I included it, and we're talking about Mother Goose. I like Mother Goose more for the vocal and the story than I do for the actual progressive part of it, but it's definitely one of my favorite Tull songs. It coming from the Aqualung album. Number 16 comes from Styx, a song off an album that didn't do so well when it first came out, mostly because it wasn't pushed very well, but it's a fantastic album. And we're talking about Born for Adventure off of the Equinox album. Number 15, a newcomer to progressive rock for me, a band that I've only been listening to for maybe about a year, maybe a little over a year, close to a year. And the first album that I got for them was Tab in the Ocean, and the song is Crying in the Dark. Love this song. It's not my favorite on the album, but it's my favorite of the short songs on the album. I guess that's the best way to put it. Short being like under 6 minutes. A lot of these songs push the carpet on that. Speaking of carpet, number 14 is Genesis Carpet Crawlers. That had to be on there. This is a legendary song to my way of thinking, and one of Genesis's best, and definitely one of their best shorts. Number 13, another Rush song. I think this is their second one on the way up. Yeah, the first one was Free Will. This one is Trees. Epic song. Could have gone higher here too, but there was a few songs that kind of battled it out with it, but I gave it 13th spot. The halfway point, I guess. Trees by Rush. Okay, number 12. Almost forgot this band entirely, but I recently purchased this album maybe a month or so ago, and been listening to it, and forgot that I forgot that they were progressive. This song is definitely progressive, and it's Carry On My Wayward Son by Kansas. A tune I've long loved, so I included it in here, not because the album is only recent. This is my recent purchase for me. I've never owned any Kansas stuff before, but of course Carry On My Wayward Son is well known for me for a very long time. Okay, so coming up next is number 11, which is, it's funny that this song is actually on here by this group, because there's many things by this group I like better. In fact, this particular album I'm not a big fan of, and actually set me back from listening to this group for a long time. But I really love this particular track, Run Like Hell from Pink Floyd off of The Wall. It's funny, I don't like The Wall. I think it's just, I don't think it represents the Floyd catalog very well at all. Maybe it would represent Roger Waters' solo album better, I'm not sure. Number 10 comes from Blue Oyster Cult, a band that I love. And I've been listening to a lot of more stuff of theirs that I hadn't had before. But this song has always been one of my favorites by them. I've been listening to this song for over 40 years. It's Veteran of 1,000 Psychic Wars. Great tune, coming in at number 10. Number 9, a song that kind of really established Gabriel as one of my favorite solo artists. He's actually my favorite solo artist, but doesn't quite make it to the top into my group of 7. He's close. Like he could make this a group of 8, but I just don't think he has enough albums to really solidify himself in that group. But the song Shock the Monkey, coming in at number 9, fantastic song. Very different song. The video was really progressive, I think. Number 8, some people might say this isn't really a progressive song. And I thought and hemmed and hawed about it, but in the end, I still think it is a progressive song, and I chose it for number 8, and that's Babaji from Supertramp. They've got a lot of songs that are mid-range as well, but this was one of the low-range songs that I think really deserved to be on this list. Number 7 is a song that many people who are not overly familiar with progressive rock or even this, like, don't know a lot of the deep stuff from this band wouldn't know this song. But for those who are huge fans of this group, this song's got to be up there in most people's lists, and that's Can Utility and the Coastliners from Genesis. This is, to me, a fantastic track, and it fits right into where I wanted it to be in the low end. Just over 5 minutes long, I believe, or just over 4 minutes, I believe. Great track, just fantastic. And so that gives Genesis now 2, I believe. Deep in the Mother Lode, Can Utility and the Coastliners, and Carpet Crawlers. So they had 3 up there. You know, it's understandable my top 3 are going to have more than most anybody else. That's why they're my top 3. But Yes only actually had the 1, and that's mostly because they're a more mid-range band. Number 6, another song from Rush. This one could have gone higher, I suspect, but the funny part is some of these songs, depending on what day what I'm in the mood for, like sometimes I get in the mood for Rush only, and sometimes I'm in the mood for Yes, or I'm sometimes in the mood for Genesis. So their songs are all going to move up, right? But right now, this song is sitting at 6, and that's Anthem from Rush. Number 5, a great track. A song that I've long loved. It's one of my favorites to sing. I never get bored of this song. It could go even higher than it is, but it's coming in at 5th. Bungle in the Jungle by Jethro Tull. That gives Tull 3 now. I didn't expect Tull to get so many, but they have a lot. They're one of the few progressive bands who have a lot of shorter progressive songs. They have a lot of songs that aren't progressive, and I didn't include them. There was some, like on Songs from the Wood, which is my favorite album by them. I only really think Hunting Girl fits into that progressive kind of mode. Maybe 1 or 2 other tracks have a little bit of that, but I disqualify them as I think of them more as this. So basically how I decide is, what does this song make me think of? Does it make me think progressive rock? Does it make me think hard rock? Does it make me think folk rock? And for me, Hunting Girl makes me think progressive. Anyways, Bungle in the Jungle, another really progressive kind of different type of vocalized tracks. Number 4 is definitely my favorite of the other short songs. It's not really even close. It's a song that it gradually grew on me over time and just keeps growing. I listen to it all the time. I love it. Farewell to Kings from Rush, the title track. Number 3 is my favorite Jethro Tull song, period. Doesn't matter what length we're talking about here. I never get enough of this song. I never get bored of it. It's my favorite go-to Tull track if I want to listen to a Tull track, and that's Life is a Long Song. So coming in at number 3, Life is a Long Song. The top 2 could have gone either way, but my favorite song at the top is my favorite song by the group. and by the individual here is also my favorite song from them. So it could have went either way. Both these tracks I listen to a lot. I love them. They're my favorite tracks by the group. It was tough. I was gonna flip a coin, but I decided ultimately to go with the song I went with, just because of my personal feelings towards the song. So anyways, number 2 is Games Without Frontiers by Peter Gabriel. Just a real classic. It puts this album over the top. This is the only grand master album that, for me, the only master album that Gabriel has is Gabriel 3, and so this song puts it over the top. Number 1 wasn't gonna, as hard as Gabriel fought, it wasn't gonna beat this song. It's been my favorite of this group, and they're one of my group of 7. It's been my favorite song for 40 years now on this group. It's one of my very favorite songs of all time, and that's Queen of Spades by Styx. Number 1 on this category. Okay, so now I'm just going to do what I always do. I'll do a reverse going from 1 to 25 and then give you my honorable mentions. So here we go. Queen of Spades, number 1. Games Without Frontiers from Gabriel, number 2. Life's a Long Song from Jethro Tull, number 3. A Farewell to Kings from Rush, number 4. Bungle in the Jungle from Jethro Tull, number 5. Number 6 is Anthem from Rush. Number 7 is Can Utility and the Coastliners from Genesis. Number 8 is Babaji from Supertramp. Number 9 is Shock the Monkey from Gabriel. Number 10 is Veteran of 1,000 Psychic Wars from BOC, Blue Oyster Cult. Number 11 is Run Like Hell from Pink Floyd. Number 12 is Carry On My Wayward Son from Kansas. Number 13 is Trees by Rush. Number 14 is Carpet Crawlers by Genesis. Fantastic. Number 15, Crying in the Dark from Nectar. This song, it's only been on for less than a year, and it's already in my top 25. And if it managed to get any longevity, I expect it'll move up the charts here. Number 16, Born for Adventure by Styx. Number 17, Mother Goose from Jethro Tull. Number 18, Free Will from Rush. Number 19, Deep in the Mother Lode from Genesis. Number 20, Kiss the Frog from Peter Gabriel. Number 21, A Long Distance Runaround from Yes. Number 22, White Man from Queen. Number 23, Olympia from John Anderson. Number 24, I Am a Walrus from the Beatles. And number 25, Hunting Girl from Jethro Tull. Also, keep in mind that there are lots of songs by these groups that I haven't actually listened to yet, because I don't own every Tull album. I don't own every Queen album. Mostly, yes, Genesis and Rush, I have all of them, but for those bands, I don't have a lot of their stuff yet. So some of that stuff is coming on. And then, of course, there's King Crimson, who I just discovered last year on their first album, and none of the songs fit into this category from their first album, but you can bet your bullets that some of their songs are going to be in the next one. The next one's going to be insanely tough. This was tough enough. Here's my honorable mention. So we got Lucky Man from Emerson, Lake and Palmer. I'm not a huge Emerson, Lake and Palmer fan. There are some songs of theirs I like, but most of them are in the mid-range, like the Longs. Tempest Fugit from Yes. This song was neck and neck with Hunting Girl. I wanted to put this song in because I love it so much, but Hunting Girl just had to be there, at least for today anyways. Dusk from Genesis, another great tune. Summer Day Sands, a Jethro Tull song that I think is very underrated. Pieces of Eight from Styx. The whole album, Pieces of Eight, is fantastic. In the Cage, another Genesis song from the Lamb Lies Down on Broadway. Fantastic song. Digging in the Dirt from Gabriel. Fantastic. Same album as Kiss the Frog. Probably could have finished in Kiss the Frog's spot if it had been a couple months ago, but it wasn't. So School from Supertramp. This was one of those songs I had to really decide whether this gets progressive status or not. And ultimately, I decided that I think of it as more progressive than any other genre. So that's why I put it in. And then The King of Twilight from Nectar, which was that other song. It was King of Twilight, Tempest Fugit, Hunting Girl. All I went back and forth between the three of them, and then ultimately eliminated this one, and then it was between Tempest Fugit and Hunting Girl for the last spot, and I gave it to Hunting Girl. And I'm happy with my decision too. So there you have it. This was an epic proportion video, the longest time-consuming one that I've done so far. I've been working on this for weeks, and that's leaving now. It's still late because I was dogging it, trying to figure out what songs should go where. And I know I probably missed a couple songs I didn't even think of. They went out of my head, but I tried my best to remember everything and get everything down and try to give it to you in the order that it means the most to me. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and maybe this will spark you to think about some of these great songs, and maybe you'll have songs on your own list. And I'm sure that you'll probably have a few people who will say, well, what about this song, or what about that song? And if I didn't put them on the list or in the honorable mentions, it's for one of two reasons. Either I haven't listened to them enough yet, or I don't know them, or I don't think of them as progressive enough to make the list. So I hope you guys are okay with that. That's the best I can do. I enjoyed making this video, although it's so time consuming. And I hope you will enjoy it. I'm going to release it now, so it's going to be about an hour late tonight for those of you who are used to it being at 8, but nothing could be done. It had to be worked on until it was completed. And there you go. So next Wednesday we'll have part 2 of this series, which will be the longs, songs that are progressive. My top 25 favorite progressive long songs that go from about 6 minutes to 14. I have over 200 songs on this list, so this is going to take it's a major undertaking to break this down to 25. I don't even know where to start. Like, there's Rush alone could have 25 songs on this list, and I wouldn't feel out of place about it. But so I think that for me, progressive music is best when it serves between 6 and 14 minutes. The epics, it could turn out that some groups have 2-3 albums on the epics just because they've made that many albums, and I love them all, right? So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this, and if you did, please give me your comments below about what you liked and what you didn't like. What albums, what songs would you have included here, and why would you have included them? And maybe there's a couple songs on this list you don't agree with, that you don't think they're progressive enough to be called progressive songs. So let me know about that too. And subscribe. The more people that subscribe, the more motivated I am to make these kind of videos. So again, I hope you enjoyed this, and we'll be seeing you next Wednesday for part 2, or part B, the longs. And then the following week will be part C, the epics. So next week, the longs. So from Prog Monster, you have a great evening, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.